So I'm going to teach you how to create an exam using McGraw-Hill's Connect through the Canvas Learning Management System. So first I need you to log into whatever your school's infrastructure is. We're going to use ECPI, which is one of the leading technology schools here on the East Coast. And you're going to scroll down if you're at the top and make sure that you find your login and go ahead and log into your Canvas. And once you get into Canvas, you need to scroll down and pick the course that corresponds to McGraw-Hill. With this one, it is going to be our billing and coding course. So go ahead and pick that and just verify that you're in the right place. As you can see, this one is mine. And then we're going to scroll down on the side and you will see McGraw-Hill Connect. If you'll click on that, then your McGraw-Hill should populate. And as it's populating, what you're going to do is you want to go to the McGraw-Hill that has been connected to the section that you're teaching. So make sure you see Go to My Connect section. Click on that. And then your Connect will populate. And what you should see is all the chapters that you will be working with. So we're going to create an exam for chapter 5, which is our CPT. So in order to do that, we're going to scroll back up and we need to add an assignment. So let's click on add an assignment and we're going to create that using our question bank. So click on question bank and then we need to choose a source. So this is where your questions are going to come from, and our questions are going to come from chapter 5. So click on chapter 5. And then we want to take it from the test bank. So click on select. And then let's go ahead and give this a name. So we're going to name this exam number 3, chapter 5. And then we're going to scroll down. And then it asks us if we want to add questions or if we want to create it. So I like to do multiple choice because it makes it a little bit easier. So this particular chapter only has multiple choice. So I don't really have to select it. But if there were various question types over here, then I would choose the type that I want. So we'll just, for kicks and giggles, let's just click on multiple choice. And then if you'll filter those results, if there's a different type of results, it will populate right here. So I don't want 107 questions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of these and then I'm going to organize it. So let's select them all. And then right here, it's going to tell me that I can add. So I'm going to add these to a pool instead of as individual questions. If I add it as individual questions, then it will give me all of these. But if I add it as a pool, then I could select a certain amount for this particular test. So I'm going to add it to a pool, and you can name the pool anything you want to. So I'm going to give it 5. And then right down here, you have to configure the pool. So out of this, I want to draw 25 questions out of the 107, and I want each question to value 1 point. And then I'm going to add that to the pool. All right, so those have been added. If I go back to organize, then I see my draw, I see my pool. I'm going to click, and this is going to give me 25 of the 107 questions at 1 point each. Now I'm going to continue. And so now I need to finish setting up the time that it's due, what it's going to be listed as, how it's going to be graded. So I want the time to be when it's assigned. I want it to be due on Thursday, the 21st at 11:59. Now you have to make sure that you change this right here because right now it is defaulted on homework, but this is an exam. So make sure you click exam. And then once you click exam, let's scroll down one more time. You're going to expand your advanced settings. What that means is you'll be able to change the time, add a password, make it not printable. You can change things in here. So we're going to edit this basic. And the basic, we're going to give it a time limit. And we're going to say that they're going to have 45 minutes to do 25 questions. We're going to scramble the questions because what if they're with their friends? And then on top of that, we're going to add a password. We're going to call it study hard, okay? 5. Your attempts should default to 1. But if you wanted to allow them to study or if you want to give them multiple attempts, you can change it here. But we're going to keep it at 1. The tolerances will just be, we don't really have to do anything to this. Resources, we don't really need to have to do anything to this because it's not a practice, it's not a quiz, it's not a take home, it's not a homework. Feedback, we want to be able to give the student feedback after they get finished taking the test. So we're going to click on this slide right here, and we want to give them detailed feedback. So let's give them detailed feedback. Now you can hold the feedback until after the test closes. You can hold the feedback into a different day. I like to give them feedback as soon as they get finished, but let's just change it so that they won't be able to see anything until after everybody has submitted and the time has expired for the test. And then we're going to apply this to the assignment only. So we got to click this right here. And then let's scroll down one more time. And then you have to make sure that you're going to review it and assign it. And if anything is kind of gone awry, it'll tell you. And then we scroll down one more time. And then we click assign one more time. Now to get it over to your Canvas, we've got to make sure that it deployed. It said that it did, and you'll find it right down here, but I like to click on it one more time because sometimes it won't go over like it should. And then I'll come right here, and then I'll click, deploy and manage. And then after that is done, we'll click deploy, and we want the best one to deploy. So once that does, whatever assignment it is, it's going to ask you, do you want to go over? And the answer is yes. Now I want to go back to my Canvas, and I want to add it. So I either want to add it, I like to add it in assignments, and I like to add it in modules. So let's go to our modules, and then wherever you want to put it, I typically would like to put it where the chapter was. So our chapter 5 is right here. So in order to add it, you're going to click the plus sign, and then you scroll down and you find it, and it's right here. So let's click it, and then we're going to add it, and it should populate. Now I don't want the students to be able to take it until I let them know it, so I'm going to unpublish it so they cannot access it. I'm also going to scroll back up, and I'm going to make sure that it shows in assignments. The reason that I like to see if it's in assignments is because I wanted to make sure that it's in the right area. So I don't want it to show up in homework, which it actually did. It's an exam, and your exams count more. So I'm going to either go right here, and I can move it, click move it, and move it to, and I want to move it to exams, and I want to put it at the bottom because it's the last one, and then it's going to move on its own. And so now you'll see it down here. All right, so now our exam is ready for students to take. Once it's time for them to take, you can tell them that they can go to their assignments, they can go to the Moodle, to their modules, and then they'll be able to take their exam. Once they finish taking it, it will show up in their grades. I won't click on the grades for FERPA issues so that we won't see other people's information, but it'll show up in their grades, and they will be able to see instantaneously what they scored on that exam. This is the directions on how to add an exam using McGraw-Hill's Connect to the Canvas learning management system.